¿Qué pasa? What's up? Antonio Serrano here, and today I have a magical tip for you. This is one of my favorite types of videos because I'm going to take all of the knowledge, not much, that I have from performing shows, mostly family shows, and I'm going to apply them in one specific topic. In this case, we're going to talk about car forces. I did my top 5 car forces of all time, all of the car forces that I know, and I more or less talk about my philosophy about car forces. In this video I have for you 5 different ideas related to car forces, and the main idea, the main goal here is try to convince you that the most important thing about a car force is not the car force in itself. The most important part is your attitude and the presentation, the performance, the scripting, the choreography around the force. So we are going to start, and I'm going to give you these 5 tips, these 5 ideas about car forces, trying to make my point across that the biggest thing that you can do to improve your car forces is you, not the cars, is you, which is a philosophy that a great magician is trying to convey into the magic community, and we are going to talk about him in a matter of seconds. So let's get started with the first idea. Okay, so the first idea is that a force should be quick, practical, and simple. A lot of the times you see car forces that are quite convoluted, quite, that take this car, put it here, now count, now go here, and there is so much thing to it that people start to get suspicious, and this is something that I call the blindfold phenomena, right? When I was a kid and I was on television, I interviewed Anthony Blake, the mentalist from Spain, and he did a trick where he had to blindfold himself, and the host of the show, while we were blindfolding him, and he used like kind of blindfold with the duct tape and the coins and pieces of fabric, kind of like a John Archer's DVD about blindfolds and all that stuff. So 2 coins and the piece of duct tape and 2 pieces of fabric, quite convoluted. And the host of the show made some kind of joke or gag like, can you imagine all the things we are doing, and probably he's going to be able to see at the end. And everyone laughed. And Anthony Blake had some kind of weird face, like, and that's the thing. And for example, if you see, I think that it is the first appearance of Vinnie Grosso in Penn and Teller, he simply blindfolds his eyes with 2 pieces of clear sellotape, like here, clear sellotape. And Penn says to him, normally when magicians blindfold themselves, they use a lot of things, like put this, put here, and you use a very simple approach, and I think that it is real. I think that it was 100% real, and that's the thing. What I call the blindfold phenomena is that if you try to overprove something, like, yeah, let's do something else, and now shuffle the cards, and now count 3 cards to the bottom, it's the same thing as going 2 coins, and now put some pieces of duct tape, and now 2 pieces of fabric, and make a knot in the back, and you press nothing. When you overprove something, it's like you are trying to hide something, right? So my first tip for car forces is something quick, something practical, something simple, that most people are not going to care about, right? Which is a great segue into tip number 4. Okay, the next tip about car forces, quite interesting. People don't care. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I am the first one to tell you, but yeah, people, laymen, your audience, they don't care. They couldn't care less about how the car gets picked. There are some routines, for example, Smart Ass by Bill Abbott, that the procedure is quite clean and is done in the hands of the spectators, but I think that even in those cases, most people don't care about how the car gets picked. And I can show you, anytime that you met with someone that has seen you perform a trick or something like that, or you can even perform a trick, a car trick to someone, and like 5 or 10 minutes later, you ask them to describe the trick for you. And I guarantee you 100% that everyone is going to tell you, okay, I picked a car, and then you shuffle the cards. They are never, ever going to describe to you the way they pick the card. They don't care if you found the pack, if you made a spread, if you riffled your thumb, if you let the cards drop. They don't care about that. They don't care. For them, it's just pick a card. Only magicians are the ones thinking about, okay, is he ruffling? Is he using a slip force or a dribble force? We are the only ones caring. So stop caring about the procedure of picking the card. A card force should be like, okay, could you please stop? Yeah, take this card. Or could you please, choose one? Okay, thank you very much. Now you are going to shuffle the deck. When you pick a card like that, it's so random, it's so quick, practical, and you don't care about it that anyone is going to be suspicious and anyone is going to remember. Nobody will remember how the process was. So don't think a lot about that. You don't need to. Okay? People are going to summarize it into I chose a card, right? As simple as that. So let's take a look at the next step. Okay, so next tip. In the last tip I said that people don't care about how the card gets picked. So now we have to learn from them and we have to be like an equal to them to make things that we try to hide be completely hidden. So if we know that they are not caring about this, we shouldn't care either. As simple as that. So a very important thing is not caring during the force. When we are forcing the card, we shouldn't be like, okay, now you are going to pick a card. It's very important that when I read through the thumb, you tell me stop anytime you want. Okay? I'm going to be doing that. When you give that much important, that much procedure, you don't care. It's like, yeah, take this card, yeah. And that's something I was talking previously in the introduction about a magician that knows how to handle himself and the audience even better than the cards. And it is Dani da Ortiz. Right? Dani da Ortiz is a person that is shuffling cards and maybe says to someone, okay, you take this card. And Dani da Ortiz takes a card from the middle of the deck and hands it to someone. And they are amazing when he gets the card or when he finds the card. Why? Because it's so casual that, okay, you take this card. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. In a Penguin lecture, Dani da Ortiz explains how he forces two cards. The way he forces two cards. And you see the performance and he's like, okay, quite good, I don't know how it works, it is great. And when he explains you how he forced the cards, it's like, how on earth was I fooled by that? It's like the silliest and simplest card force in the world. What is the trick? The trick is not in the handling, in the force itself. The trick is that Dani doesn't care. He's doing the card force like, okay, move this, could you please cut? Yeah, and move the card that is in the middle, could you, and now, yeah, take the top two cards. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. So this is extremely important. Every time that you are doing a card force, it is great if you don't care. It is great if you simply let things flow, right? And that's great. People get suspicious when we magicians start over-explaining things, and we say, so one of the most important things in magic is that you must focus down the attention and you must keep things like steady in the same place, quite clean and all that stuff when you want people to stare at you, and more likely when you are completely done. If you have to do some dirty work still, it's better to be moving around and not caring. Okay, take this, okay, place, and you do the dirty move, you do the slide in that way. And when you are ready to show the result of that dirty move, that's when you stop. And that's when you show. And that's when, so people think that you are going to do the trick when you become quiet and when you stop to concentrate. And that's not true, right? So with a card force, it's the same. You do the card force, come on, take that, you can take any card you want, yeah. So please, don't care about the card force and don't care about the moment where you are forcing the card. It's going to make a difference. Okay, I know that this next tip is going to sound quite similar to the previous one, but hear me out. We are not overproving the force, right? We are making it quick and practical. We already established that people don't care about the procedure because they are not going to remember, so we don't care during the procedure. And now is the most interesting thing. Now, we don't have to care about the card that we have forced after it is forced. And this is something that completely changed my life. If you force a card and you have like the cleanest classic force on earth, you perfectly force your card. but you can see in the attitude of the magician that he knows what the car is. People don't care if the force was extremely clean. They are going to see through your soul, and they are going to get the idea that, yeah, the magician knows the car. And that's something that happens to me sometimes in some shows. I force a car and people can sense in me that I know what the car is. It's like true, it's like real magic, right? So you have to be careful with that. You must study yourself when you perform tricks where the selection is free and you have no idea what the car is. You should study yourself and see how you react. What do you do when you don't know what the car is? And see the differences between when you know what the car is, when you don't know what the car is. Because if you do a very clean force, but people can sense that you know what the car is, it is over. It is completely over. And I would like to give you an example from one of my favorite routines that I do, which is the jumbo aces. When one of the aces changes to a selected car, it is based in a Simon Lowell trick. It's great trick. So for this trick, I force with a regular size poker deck the card that is going to appear among the aces. One of the aces is going to change into the jumbo selection. So what I did was I forced first a random card, not the card that is going to appear in the jumbo. I'm going to force a random card. And when I hand the spectator, normally with the riffle force, when I handle the spectator the random card, I am looking away and I let the card fall into the ground, right? Most people cannot see the card. And I go, oh my God, the 4 of clubs, thank you very much, now you ruined the trick. It's quite funny, it's quite entertaining, and now I take the 5 of clubs, whatever, and I put it inside of the deck. Very important, this mistake card must be forced. Why? Because in a show, this happened to me. What I did was giving a free selection to the spectator, and when the spectator was taking the card, I let it drop. And most of the times I saw the car as the car was falling, or if it landed face up, I could see the car. In a show, I was looking like that, the car falls, and when I looked, the car was already in the ground, face down. And the spectator took the card and went like that. And I went, no, I saw the card, we cannot do the trick. And he was like, yeah, what is it? And he wasn't like confrontational or something like that. He was like, you couldn't possibly have seen the car, right? He couldn't believe that I knew what the car was. And I said like, no, I seen it. Give it to me. Give it. Come on. So from that point on, every time I change this car, is basically I do an overhand shuffle and I move one of these random cards on top of the force card and I force that one. So if the card falls face down, I know what the card is. Oh my God, I saw the 4 of hearts. Don't worry, put it here. Let's do it one more time. Be careful this time, okay? I force the card that I want. I make sure that the spectator is holding the card and he shows, normally for this trick, the Jack of Hearts. He shows the card, the Jack of Hearts, and now I ask him, which is a very nice subtlety from Simon Lowell in this trick, is the card an ace? Because I have here 4 jumbo aces, and with these aces I'm going to guess the suit of your card. And if your card is a suit, if your card is an ace, it doesn't work. Okay? I am asking if the card is an ace because I don't know. It's a free selection, right? Which is great. One more point. When the trick is over and I have like a fan here with 3 aces facing the audience and 1 ace looking towards me, the spectator shows the card to everyone, even me. And the spectator is sitting in the audience, so it's quite far away. I move there to force the card and then I go back on stage. And I'm trying to squint my eyes, like I can see the card and I have great vision. I am completely deaf, but I have great vision. But I go like, is it the King of Hearts? And the spectators, no, the Jack of Hearts. So if I know what the card is, how is it that I am not able to see properly what the card is? I am adding all these ideas to really make people know, make people sure that this guy has no idea what the card is. This trick could have been done with any selection, which is what makes the trick extremely powerful, right? And one last thing in this trick, in the show where I perform this trick, I force two cards. I force the Jack of Hearts, and I am in the middle of the audience, so I automatically kill two birds with the same stone. Is that the phrase? I don't know. But I do basically that. I go to another person in the other side of the room, so I am making more people take part in the show. I go to the other side of the room and I force another card, typically the 3 of diamonds, right? Which is the card that Rocky Raccoon is going to guess at the end of the show, right? So at the end of the show, I guess the 3 of diamonds, but I normally ask a kid to decide what of the 2 cards we are going to use for the big trick. And I am using there a magician's choice. If the kid says to me, the card from that side, which is the 3 of diamonds, I say, okay, so your card stays there until the big trick arrives. And your card is going to be guessed right now. I'm going to guess your card right now. If the kid says that card there, which is the Jack of Hearts, I say, okay, I'm going to guess your card right now with the big trick, and I pull out the big aces, which makes sense, and your card, I don't know, you can keep it. Which is great because now everyone forgot about that card. And at the end of the show, I guess it. And what is great is that right before I am with Rocky Raccoon, right before I am going to show the prediction of the 3 of diamonds, it's not a prediction, it's like a comedy thing with the raccoon. Right before the time when I'm going to show that Rocky guessed that the card was the 3 of diamonds, I went. Remember that the deck was shuffled. And remember that he took a card. She took, normally a girl, she took another card, right? And this kid here decided that your card stayed there until the last moment of the show. It could have, maybe, if the kid had another option, if the kid made another choice, your card would be here for the end of the show, right? But no, your card was guessed before. One more time, making it more free. And when I am talking about the 2 cards, I was like, I don't know what your card is. Your card was the and I look towards my side table because I have in a collapsible box the jumbo aces put inside like that, and the front card is always the Jack of Hearts because it's quite colorful, it's quite beautiful. So I always have the card like that. So I go, and your card was the and I look at the card and goes, yeah, the Jack of Hearts. So this once more creates the idea that I have no idea about the card. Because if I use this card every time to do the trick, I should know what the card is. I shouldn't go like, your card was the... No, this happens to me because every show is a different card, which is not true. But I am creating that sensation. So you can take a look at that. How many things, how many subtleties I am adding to that routine to create the idea that the selections are completely free, and it doesn't matter if your card is used for the raccoon and your card is used for the aces or the other way around. I don't care. A card fell into the ground, the 4 of clubs, don't worry, take another one. The aces are going to guess your card exactly the same. It doesn't matter what your card is. That's great. That's exactly where my idea started to do a very simple force, as it is a riffle force, but start adding convincers to that force after the force was done. Okay, so this is my thoughts about how to convince people in the case that you're using a very simple force, not caring during the force and after the force. Be very careful with this. A lot of the times this is something that also happens with impossible locations. For example, card to wallet. There are basically 2 main ways to perform card to wallet. One is palming, and you are loading the card into the wallet, which means that when you go towards the wallet, it is already done. You only have to open up the wallet, open up the zip compartment, and the card is there, or inside an envelope, or inside another wallet, or something like that. If you are using a no palm card to wallet, which is my choice, for example, my favorite wallet is the Mollica wallet. When you go towards the wallet, you have not even begun with the procedure to put the card inside. And sometimes you can tell when a magician has already done the magic and he's like, yeah, look inside the box, is your card. And sometimes you can tell when the magician is looking inside the box and he's tense because he has to do a shuttle pass to change the card. So be very careful with that. So in this case, it's exactly the same. People cannot see through you if you know the card that you have just forced. Okay? So study that. You are not going to regret it. And this is the last tip about car forces, and it is quite simple, quite straightforward, and I love it. It is that you shouldn't be doing tricks that require 100% in a car force. A car force is great. I remember that when I was a teenager, I did a lot of crazy tricks with double lifts, top changes, the call, things like that. And there was something that I added to my repertoire with card magic, and it was having in the screen of my phone the picture of a card, and I simply force a card and I ask someone to take a look into my phone, and when they unlock the phone, when I unlock the phone, they could see the picture of the card, and everyone went crazy. Everyone was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was like, this is the simplest thing on earth and people are losing it. It's unbelievable to me. So yeah, people love card forces, but you shouldn't be doing a trick that is only 100% a force. There must be something around it. For example, in my routine with the Puppet Monkey Eco, which is the version of Chico, the mind reader from Bill Abbott, the thing is not guessing the card. The whole magical premise is a card force. But it is not about the card force, it's about the monkey. The same thing with my mojo, the rubber chicken. The whole trick is a card force, but the thing is the chicken. Or something, you can see a more clear example of this with the trick of the jumbo aces that I just explained. The thing that everyone talks about is where did you put the jumbo ace and where did you get the jack of hearts from? They have no idea how one of the aces disappear and the jack of hearts appear. No one has ever said to me, how do you know that it was going to be the jack of hearts? Or do you have a whole deck of cards there and you take the jack of hearts and you change it when he tells you? No one cares about the aspect of the force, about the aspect of predicting the card, because for them the most impressive part is that a jumbo ace change to the selection. Obviously, being a selected card is much stronger, but the trick is about the jumbo card changing, right? The force makes the trick stronger and more cohesive, right? Because of the presentation that I'm telling and all that stuff. So don't make tricks that are only about a card force, because people don't care about that. People don't care about predicting a 2 of diamonds. Take a card. Is it 2 of diamonds? Thank you. They don't care about that. You can do a toss-out deck, you can do any kind of prediction like cardiographic. For example, cardiographic is another great example. You are forcing a card to do cardiographic, but do you think that people are going to be talking about, yeah, and it is the 3 of hearts, the card that I picked? No, everyone is going to talk about, you draw a deck of cards and suddenly a card rises up in the middle and he took out the piece of paper and it is complete, it's normal ink. There is nothing weird about it. The card force is there to enhance the effect and to make it more real, more free, but it's not the only thing that makes the trick stand on itself. So guys, those are my ideas about card forces. I hope that you found this information useful. Please comment below if you think that I left out some important information, and as always, I see you in a near future. Bye there!